Welcome back, everyone, to the ADD Show, where we're not always right, but we're never wrong. As always, I'm Mark.
And I'm Hans, and welcome back, everybody. We are 2 weeks away from the end of the NFL season, regular season.
Yes, week 17 this week. That's usually the end of the end of this season, but since there's an extra week, some things were meant to be clarified last week, and they kind of were. And kind of weren't at the same time. The NFC is pretty much set except for 6 and 7. It's really technically just jockeying for position.
Pretty much, especially the wild cards.
It's
right, because all the teams have clinched their division except for the NFC West is still up for grabs.
But
right?
they're all in the playoffs.
That's what I meant. So they're
So Arizona's in the playoffs. The Rams are in the playoffs. They've both clinched, but they're both can still win the division. Mm-hmm. San Francisco and Philly have not clinched the playoffs. Can
Philly do that with a win over DC this weekend? I don't know. I don't have it up in front of me.
So I don't think it all depends. Minnesota's 7-8, Atlanta's 7-8, New Orleans is 7-8. If Philly wins and San Francisco wins, I still think they're not getting tiebreakers based off of Minnesota. Okay. I think Minnesota would get in if they all finished with the same record.
I know that'd make you very happy.
Yeah, but Minnesota, I mean, it's that team's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
But I think it's almost guaranteed that San Francisco and Philadelphia are going to make it.
It just depends on who is going to be and how those 5 through 7s are seeded.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be Green Bay, Dallas, Tampa Bay, and either Arizona, LA, or LA, Arizona. I think that's going to be 1 through 5.
Yeah.
But it's, Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Green Bay, and the Rams right now are all 11-4 or 12-3.
Yeah, it's all jockeying up right now for positions.
Yeah. Where the AFC, you have 11-4, 10-5, 9-6, 9-6, 9-6, 9-6, 8-7, 8-7, 8-7, 8-7, 7-7-1, 7-8, 7-8.
These teams are beating the hell out of each other in the AFC. Yes. Literally every time a team gets it makes make this sound dumb here, but like I was looking at the Chargers today, just looking over the record because we had a group chat about the Chargers was in that group chat, just their quarterback, and I looked into it and I was like, crap. They're 8-6. I was like, man, that's terrible. And I was like, wait, that's playoffs in the AFC. Like, that's winning your division. Well, the Chiefs are there. But it's just crazy to think how much these AFC teams have really beat the hell out of each other.
That loss to the Texans killed them. Mm-hmm. Killed them because now they were in the playoffs and now they're outside looking in.
Yep. Again, you have the Ravens this weekend again, who's in the similar spot, and Ravens are going to be without Lamar again probably. So that's another opportunity for these teams like the Chargers and the Broncos. Well, not Broncos, but you know what I mean. The teams that are fighting to be able to get in there because the Ravens might still miss the playoffs completely.
Yeah, Ravens are 8 right now. Mm-hmm. Chargers are 9. Miami's 7.
I know.
Miami is 7. They're 8-7.
Remember a few weeks ago we talked about potentially the end of the road for the Dolphins and Flores, and he's like, boom, 7 straight. Yep. We're not getting into it right now. We'll get into it when we actually start talking about stuff like the complete 180 of that coach. The
whole team.
They all changed. They got accurate. They started running the ball. Something changed, and they didn't even add a single player.
No, and they didn't get rid of a single player. But I do want to start on a sad note. A legend in football.
Yep.
John Madden passed away yesterday, and I was trying to explain, like, my dad got me into sports. Yeah. Plain and simple. John Madden made me love football.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, and I'm of the generation where he was announcing games. It wasn't even like, I think he might have been a coach. I know he was a coach when I was alive.
Yeah.
But not at the time where I could pay attention to who.
76 he won the Super Bowl, so he was coach 68
but
78.
Still the winningest coach of the percentage-wise, the best winning percentage of any coach in the NFL.
He never had a losing season, and only 2 of them were under 10 wins.
He had over 100 wins. He had 106 wins, 32 losses, and 7 ties. Went to the AFC Championship game 5 times and won the Super Bowl once.
Yeah.
That in itself is amazing. But the way this man broke the game down, and you'll hear anybody that has been talking about Madden the last couple days has said he made it so you knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
He made it so the plays were relevant.
Yeah.
He made it so you could understand what you were watching.
Yeah, one of the first times I remember hearing his voice and like realizing who he was I want to say it was Super Bowl, I can't remember, but it was Green Bay versus the Steelers. So that was what, Super Bowl 38 or 39, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was in middle school, and I remember that was the first time I remember it being John Madden, like the first time I remember paying attention to who the announcers were. And I was obviously probably in middle school at the time. And one game I remember from when I was a kid, I remember, the Ravens Super Bowl. I remember the Patriots Super Bowls. I remember the Eagles. Like, I remember all these Super Bowls, but like, I remember the dialogue from that one. Mm-hmm. And I don't really realize, I'm younger than you, obviously. I don't really remember a lot of John Madden, who he was, besides the fact of the video games. Yeah. But I do know of who he is, but it's not in the conversation of like my parents remembering him or you remembering him. Right. But to the point that I know that game, and I know that it was John Madden, and I saw today that the last game he covered was the Super Bowl of those two teams.
That was the last game he covered was Arizona-Pittsburgh.
Arizona. That's who it was.
Antonio Holmes catching the end zone where with 2 minutes left, Fitzgerald goes, I think, 80 yards.
Yep. So that was the game, and I remember going, so that was who announced that game, because it was a fun game, and I was probably only like 8 or 9 years old.
Yep.
I was probably older than that. I was probably 12 or something. But like, to me, I wanted to go into John Madden was like, for me, I only remembered who he was and the icon he's going to be because of the Madden games. That's my generation being younger, is that people say, let's go play Madden. It's a game. But to a lot of people, and I'm not one of them, people who hear the word Madden, maybe you played it, I know, but like when you hear the word Madden, you think of, yeah, that's a cool video game, but like it's John Madden. Like it's John Madden football, in quotations. I'm doing that because that's what it used to be called. And in a way, Madden football games is why I even got into football in the first place. Like my parents watched it, but I didn't pay attention to it till I got the game, and it was Madden 03. Like I remember the game, and his dialogue was what was in that game.
Oh yeah,
and so like
he gave them his playbook, to use and it was the plays. The names of the plays were the plays from his playbook. And that video game realistically changed the way people watch the game also.
I mean, like, imagine without the game, the amount of people who potentially could still watch it, but the amount of generations of fans it's brought because of the video game.
But you learn so much about football from those games. Like, and the running joke right now on the internet and on Facebook, I posted it in the group because I just thought it was funny. And I've been saying it all year. Mike McCarthy's horrible at time management. You've said it yourself, and it said,
he is.
The quote on there was, I learned how to time management from playing Madden better than Mike McCarthy knows as a head coach.
Yeah.
Like, but people learned the game. They learn, and when you're playing the game and then you can sit there and watch, you know what you're looking at. You know what a cover 2 is. And you know what man-to-man is. Like,
and here's things too, like there's video games like FIFA Soccer or MLB Baseball. Like these two games, when you start off in lower leagues, or even like the IndyCar video games, the F1 game, you start these games in lower series in like Dominica for baseball. You start in Cuba or Puerto Rico, or even in the soccer games, like you can play in the Premier League. You can play in the Spanish League or whatever they're called. Madden, in a way, people are playing Madden in South Africa. They're playing it in parts of Egypt. They're playing it in Europe. They're playing it in other countries that have never watched a single game.
Right.
This game is just like other games where it's bigger to the point that you have people in South Africa who've never watched it playing Madden because it's popular. Right. And they're like, oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes, but they've never seen an NFL game. So it attracts these fans like baseball has done through these little areas. So now you're seeing, like, I'll use my West Virginia college team, for example. We have 5 players from foreign teams. Like, we got a German kid and an Australian punter. They've never watched football in their life, but there's camps training them. And you know in some way John Madden and the video games in some way has to play a role in all of that.
And
every kid wants to be what they play.
And he made you laugh because he was just larger, like just the larger things he'd say. Like, and nobody ever said anything like that. Like, oh, that was it. Bam, boom. You know, like he'd be, and like the replay, he'd be scribbling on the screen, but you could see what he was talking about. And like,
I just made the scribbles. Can we bring those back?
You know, but like, it was just when and the funny thing is Saturday, Janine and I were sitting down the day before Christmas Day. We were sitting down, and I watched the end of the documentary that Fox had on him. And I'm like, and Janine sitting there watching, and I'm just listening to what everybody's saying, and I'm like, man, this dude is he's a legend. Like, and he's touched so many lives. Like, as far as broadcasting, as far as everything. And then all of a sudden, like literally 3 days later, he's dead.
It was 26th. It was the next day.
And I was like,
it was 3 days ago now. Oh wait, maybe it was yesterday.
No, yesterday.
It was yesterday. You're right.
The 29th. And I was just like, damn. I'm like, I just watched that documentary and like it was sad. Like and then it just started bringing up memories.
Sadder. Yeah,
you know, of everything. Like and
now it's a memoir.
And so it's and this NFL season is so exciting, and it's like something that he must have loved watching.
Oh, I guarantee you.
Because and I mean, not to go down a rabbit hole about him, but I know people my age, that love football.
Yeah.
Grew up listening to John Madden.
Yep.
Like, and when you knew football and you started loving football and watching it on TV, you didn't care who was on TV but you listened to Madden.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like, you didn't watch the other game. You watched the game Madden was calling.
Yeah. For me, somebody I remember, probably my generation, is like Stuart Scott. For me, is like that voice you always remember. Whereas like you growing up and like with football throughout. So I keep hitting our new mic stands. If you guys hear a noise, we have these really nice boom stands we got for Christmas. They're great, and you can like move them anywhere. Like feel like we're lounging right now. Like we're not sitting forwards on these little microphones. Like I am lounging. But like with Stuart Scott or like John Madden, like the voice, you remember it forever.
Yeah.
You remember the plays. You remember things. Like I remember waking up to ESPN wanting to listen to Stuart Scott, because I loved the way he covered ESPN. Yeah. I don't care about most of the people now, but like it's somebody like John Madden is going to go down as he's already a legend, Hall of Famer, and people are going to remember who he is. Yeah. And again, the name of the Madden games continues on with his name on it.
Oh yeah, yep.
And these kids still won't know who he is, but hopefully now they will.
Right. So week 17.
Yep.
Starts off we'll start off with the game of the week. Chiefs Bengals.
I believe that's probably the game of the week. I think I would say that's probably the game of the week as of right now. Yeah,
there's a couple really good games, but this is two
teams heading in the same direction.
Yes.
The other game isn't.
Chiefs are on fire.
Yep.
They proved they didn't need Hill and Kittle against who did they play last week? The Raiders?
Kelsey. You said Kittle.
Yeah, Kelsey and Hill. Who did they play last week? They killed them. I want to say it was the Raiders, but I think I'm wrong. No, the Steelers.
Yep, that sounds right.
They killed the Steelers. Killed them. And the Bengals went out and destroyed the Ravens.
Yep.
And I said, it's a division game. Yep. Bengals get up for division games. They play 4 quarters against their division opponents. Well, four out of the 5 games they played. Unbelievable football. What worries me about this game is it's not a division game.
Yep.
This is a huge game for the Bengals. Means absolutely nothing to the Chiefs.
Yep.
Means absolutely nothing to the Chiefs. The Chiefs, if they win, I think they lock up home field.
Yeah.
And that's fine. This game here, win or lose, as long as they're not blown out, is a huge game for the Bengals. The Bengals need to show, and I can't believe this wasn't flexed to primetime. I really can't. Not that it's the Bengals and the Bengals won, but I can't believe this wasn't flexed to primetime.
Over the Texans and 49ers, yeah.
It's Vikings Packers are Sunday Night Football. And Browns Steelers are Monday Night Football. You don't flex into Monday night. You only flex into Sunday night.
So, but if they're at Sunday, I could see them flexing over the Texans and 49ers or the Chargers and Broncos, given the importance of the game.
Yeah.
But the Chargers and Broncos is also an important game. Broncos could creep up into the playoff picture.
Yeah.
But again, Texans, 49ers, get them out of 4 o'clock and get the big games in. And all 3 of the 4 o'clock games are going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
They're huge games.
I'm going with the Chiefs here.
Okay.
Because I can't get my hopes up.
Yeah.
I can't get my hopes up. I think if the Bengals play like they did last week, they can win the game.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen them with that consistency.
Yeah.
They don't have that consistency, and that's what scares me about this game. They lock up the North if they win this game. Mm-hmm. They have to win one game, and or Cleveland has to lose one game for them to win the North. So if Cleveland loses this week, no matter what happens, Bengals win the North. Yeah. But I'm picking the Chiefs. The Chiefs the Chiefs have been here before.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm picking the Chiefs.
See, and this is what I'm picking too. Is I'm also going with the Chiefs, and the reason is the Bengals are a really good team, but they still have inconsistencies, and you know this, just like a lot of these teams do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what you're getting when the Chiefs play. This feels like the kind of game where the Chiefs are just going to come out and say, yeah, we know they're good. We know they're leading the North, but we're the Chiefs. We had a slow start, and I feel like this is like a 40-bomb game. Like I'm not being mean to the Bengals. The Bengals are extremely talented, and I wouldn't want to play them if I'm Dallas. But this is just a way the Chiefs are gonna. I feel like they're just gonna show up and have a 30-point somehow win, and the Bengals are gonna be like, "What happened?" And it's not that they're not good. The Chiefs just smack people when they want to. Okay. They turn up when they want to. I don't have them winning by 30, by the way. Okay. I have the Chiefs winning. Really close game. Bengals are at home. What are they? They're a 5-point favorite.
Chiefs are a 5-point favorite.
Yeah, which technically means they're an 8 in a way. I think the Bengals also are being wildly disrespected in this game, by the way, because I've listened to a lot of people talk about it. Chiefs this, Chiefs that. The Bengals are good. Burrow's good. The wide receivers are good. Chase is good. Like the time for the disrespect of the Bengals with this roster they have this is not the Marvin Lewis Bengals.
No.
This is a very different team, and if they hit on all cylinders, have a good offseason, this is a perennial yearly playoff team.
Yeah.
So, but I just have again with you, I think the Chiefs are the better, hotter team right now, and they have the best quarterback in the league. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well.
All right, Falcons, Bills.
Yep.
I feel a lot more confident with my Super Bowl pick in the Buffalo Bills right now with the way they're playing the last few weeks.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago, if you had asked me, I would have been like, yeah, I'm not confident in that pick anymore. But they're coming around. They're still an excellent team.
Oh, yeah.
They're playing the Falcons. The Falcons have a little bit to play for, but not much. But the Bills are just a better team. Falcons are going outside in the weather, end of December. Oh, no, actually, beginning of January.
It'll be
January 2nd.
January 2nd,
so
yeah.
Beginning of January in northern New York. Mm-hmm. It's awful weather. Bills are going to win that game.
Yep. I got the Bills too, and it's because they're the better team, right? The Bills are a 14-point favorite at home. Like that's a very large favorite.
Yes.
The Falcons, to me, you look at them, they're 7-8, right? 7-8. They're winning games, they're losing games. But like 7-8, like if you would have asked me a few weeks ago, and I'm sorry, DC fans, but you would ask me a few weeks ago, DC and the Falcons, who would you rather have? And I'm like, DC's not too bad. The Falcons are a better team than DC right now. And that's sad to say because record-wise. And it's like, but what do we think when we hear the Falcons? Not a good team.
No.
But they could still probably find a way to make the playoffs. That's crazy. They really could.
Yeah, they need help. They need
every team that's in the wild card to lose out. But
yes,
it's a potential chance that it could happen.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Bills, who are the better team here. Again, they're hotter, and I still feel like they have a really good chance to move on in the playoffs. And this is a statement game. Beat up on a lesser team. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Now, this game I'm expecting you to say is an intriguing matchup, and you'll love it because they're the two worst teams that are playing. This matchup is awful.
Yeah.
Giants versus Bears.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Quick answer, Bears.
Yeah. I go with I have the Bears too, but like I'm pretty sure their whole quarterback room is out with COVID right now. They're all in the protocol. I think
Foles is starting again.
So I think Foles is starting again. I like I liked Foles' chances better than Dalton. Even Fields has like really good games. I'm like, man, that's why they drafted him. The other games I'm like, Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
Marcus Russell. I'm going to go with the Bears. Like, these two teams are just bad. And the Giants are wet booty. I mean, we created the term wet booty for the Giants. Sorry, guys. It's for Daniel Jones. He's not playing. The Bears are going to win this game. The Bears.
All right. Very intriguing matchup.
Just so you guys know, every matchup is going to be intriguing to Mark because he says...
Dolphins-Titans, though.
I know, it is.
The Titans proved something last week against a very good 49ers team. Mm-hmm. They proved they can still win.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown proved that he's still a top-tier wide receiver.
Yep.
Tannehill proved that if he has a weapon, he's going to be able to throw the ball.
He's a really good average quarterback, and I don't mean that in a mean way. He does what he needs to do.
Yep. The Dolphins did enough against a very good defense, awful offense in New Orleans to win their 7th straight. Now, you don't win 7 straight in the NFL by accident.
No.
This team, we all picked to go to the playoffs. We all picked to battle for the East.
I did. With the Bills. Patriots weren't in that conversation at all. No offense. They weren't for me.
This is one of the few road teams. I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 road teams this week. That's all I picked. And this is one of them. I've got the Dolphins winning their 8th straight.
Wow.
And Tennessee falling. And, with the next game we're going to talk about, Tennessee being in a tie for the division, but still winning the division because of tiebreakers.
So I went with the Dolphins here too. This one was actually tough, and I actually thought when I picked the Dolphins, it would surprise you. The Dolphins are hot right now.
Yep.
And I still want to find ways to not like Tua Tagovailoa. But he does what he needs to do.
Yeah,
right?
He throws it to Waddle.
He throws it to Waddle has almost 100 receptions already.
He's
a target monster.
They have one of the best tight ends in the league.
Underrated tight ends in the league.
Top 7 easy tight end in the league.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get a target.
No.
He doesn't get thrown the ball.
You know
ever.
why? Because all the corners are focusing on Gesicki, and they're not even focusing on Waddle. Or isn't Parker still injured, right? So
yeah, but this is my upset of the week. Just so you know, the Dolphins over the Titans.
Yeah, not mine. But I do have the Dolphins winning this game. It was not a hard choice. For me. They're playing at a high level right now, and I think the Titans are on what's what I'm looking for? They're on like an IV drip with some medication every few hours. They're just getting a little beep every few hours. Mm-hmm. They're just coasting. They're really praying that they're thinking second week of the playoffs, if we can just squeak the first round, we might get Derrick Henry back at 75%. There's a chance they're going to run Derrick Henry with a boot on. I'm serious. Because if they don't have him, they can't win games. They're not going to be consistent in the playoffs. So I got the Dolphins winning this game because they're hot right now.
Okay. Raiders, Colts. Mm-hmm. Raiders pulled out a victory last week against Denver. Mm-hmm. Every time you count the Raiders out, they win. I don't think Wentz is playing in this game.
I don't think he is either.
I know he has a chance because he has a chance to get off the list and play. But if Wentz doesn't play, the Raiders easily can win this game.
Oh, of course.
But
is it Sam Ehlinger that's starting? Or is it the other kid, Eason?
No, I think they got rid of Eason.
Did they?
I can't remember. I don't know who's starting. I mean, to be honest with you, it's all they have to do is hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. The Colts, without 5 of their offensive linemen, their 5 starting offensive linemen were out last week, either with injury or COVID. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan Taylor still ran the ball through that Cardinals defense. And the Colts came out and they beat the Cardinals.
Dallas better take notes.
I have got the Colts winning this game. This team is a team I don't want to play. Yeah. If the Bengals win their division and they have to play the Colts, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
That just makes me angry.
You have home field advantage, though.
Yeah, but that's this team is...
It's like Dallas. It means nothing to play at home.
This team is scary good. Yeah. Scary good. And I'd rather play Tennessee.
Yeah, because I'd rather pay Tennessee with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
If he was healthy, you'd rather play them.
If Derrick Henry comes back for the playoffs...
Fully healthy, not stuttering at all.
It doesn't matter. He hasn't played in how long? And again, football shape is football shape, but getting hit and stuff like that is different. But I'd still rather play Tennessee.
Okay.
I really would. It's a different. The Colts are different. They're good. I got the Colts beating the Raiders.
So you got to watch that foot stand. These microphones are really sensitive. I didn't pick here because I didn't know about Carson Wentz's status.
Okay.
But I'm going to make my pick, and I'm going to pick the Raiders for this game.
Okay.
Because I'm under the assumption Carson Wentz isn't playing. Okay. If he's playing, I can't change my pick now, right? But my guess is he's not. It looks like he's trending towards doubtful. If he doesn't play, the Raiders are going to win this game. If he does play, the Colts will, and I got this pick wrong. Okay. Next pick.
All right. Jaguars, Patriots. Buccaneers, Jets, Buccaneers.
That's my lock of the week.
Patriots are my lock of the week.
Oh, okay, so they did them back to back.
Yep.
Wow, New England is a higher point favorite over the Jags and the Bucs over the Jets.
Probably because the Patriots are home.
That makes sense. Yep, that makes sense.
But New England is 3-5 at home. New England is 6-1 on the road.
That's nuts, dude.
6-1 on the road and 3-5 at Gillette.
Because Mac Jones doesn't like cold weather.
It's probably true. But
I mean, Alabama boy.
yeah,
And then you have Tom Brady, who's literally from Michigan. He's not from Michigan. Where was he from?
he's from San Francisco.
San Francisco,
but he played in Michigan.
Yeah.
Then you got an interesting matchup. So we got Eagles in Washington.
Great.
Again, I want to shout out to Northern. They're wrestling in a tournament, so hopefully they did well. I'm dying to get Nate on to talk about Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dying to because
He doesn't want to do it.
they're falling apart on the sidelines. They're falling apart like everywhere. Like
I can't say.
how in your right mind
I can't say I
do
don't
you
enjoy
say
it.
the first play of the game after you get them to go 3 and out, you're going to go deep against a corner that has proven that I'm either going to intercept it or you're going to get a touchdown. But
The odds are always in Diggs' favor.
And I'm just like,
Let's
I
just
was
be
watching
clear.
it, and I said right before he threw it, I said, this is a big drive for Washington.
Yep.
If they can go down the field and score here, this is going to make or break. This will be the difference in the game.
They had
and the
any
first
other
play was a freaking interception.
If they had any other quarterback but Heineke there, that was a touchdown. No offense.
But I'm hoping on this pick, this is my hope, that Washington has some sort of pride in the fact that they can knock the Eagles out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only hope in picking this game. And they're at home, and I want them to win. And I want them to win because I don't like Eagles fans. I really don't. And no offense to, Pastor Sam, who hopefully he's healthy now. I know, he came down with the vid, I believe, right?
Yep.
But he's an Eagles fan, and 1 minute they're 0-0 with the Giants, and the next minute it's 37-3, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And I just hope Washington has some heart, shows some grit, and gets their heads out of their butts and just wins. And that's why I'm picking Washington, because it's a division game. You can knock them out of the playoffs and make it hard for them to make the playoffs. And this is a team that you were supposed to be better than. These were supposed to be the last place Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East. And right now they're in the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs, which was supposed to be where you were hoping to be.
That's where we were hoping Dallas was going to be.
Right.
And we thought DC was going to win the division. I thought Dallas was going to be a wild card.
So that's why I'm picking Washington, because I hope they just can, show some pride and win out.
Well, in the new year, we tend to wish for things, right? It's something we tend to do. Happy New Year, happy year, what is it? New year, new me type thing. Well, it's going to be a new year playoff Eagles, new year disappointed DC fans.
Wow, picking the Eagles, huh?
It hurts me. It hurts me to make this pick. DC is in disarray. It's bad. That is not the first week they've had fighting. They've lost by 110-5 since they brought their benches to every game. And it comes to the point when your players aren't playing, your coaches aren't coaching, who does it fall back on? At some point, yes, they won some games. They were almost in the playoffs. At some point, the coach has to take accountability for this. At some point, people go, well, maybe it'll just be next year's our year. You get a short leash in the NFL. This ain't college football. You get a short leash, and you are back-to-back years under 500 record. This is not Jeff Fisher, okay? Yeah. Now, I'm not saying he needs to go. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's at his turn to turn this ship. Yes, their quarterback room isn't the greatest, but you have a stud running back, a stud wide receiver, an okay O-line, and you have really good pieces around your defense. Why aren't you winning games? 6-9 is disappointing. It's not disappointing. You finished 6-9 practically last year.
If they win out,
yes,
okay, and they go 8-9, same team.
It's the same team.
Same team as last year.
If they don't win out, you degressed.
Well, actually, if they win out, if they win one of their last 2 games,
yeah,
they have the same amount of wins as they had last year. So, is it really that big of a disappointment?
I think it's a disappointing knowing you made the playoffs and you thought you were going to go farther than they did. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying disappointment in the way that like their fans need to get pitchforks and torches and burn the place down. I'm saying it's a disappointment because this was your division this year. You had it last year. It was yours. You had, yes, Fitzpatrick got hurt. I still don't think he was your best option going forwards. I think it still is Heineke. But you have pieces. We can't pretend this is the Jaguars. They have more talent on their team than I think the Broncos do at times.
But I do believe the Jaguars have made the playoffs more times than the Washington football team in the last decade.
Yes, actually, it's probably the last 2 decades. Well, Jaguars have only been a team for how many years?
I don't know, 90s.
90. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
at the same
I think it was
time,
like 95,
at the same
96.
time last time DC had a playoff.
They were in the AFC North for a while.
Yeah, the last time DC had a playoff.
Kind of weird, isn't it?
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, they were in the AFC North for a while. They were in with with all of them. Yep.
Either way, I've rambled on a little bit. The Eagles are just playing a different level. They're hot. They're finding ways to win. They're finding ways to run. They're finding ways that Hurts is saying, I'm the guy. Their wide receivers are catching the ball, and their defense is doing defensive things. DC just doesn't look good, so I'm picking the Eagles here.
Okay.
Sorry,
all
DC.
Right. Rams, Ravens. God, it's so funny that they are 8-7. But they are in my opinion, one of the worst teams right now in the NFL. And the main reason why is because they are so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I love listening to 105.7. The Fan.
I can't do it.
I listen to it all the time. And you know
I get
what I've heard
listening to them.
You know what I love hearing is the despair. We have no chance.
Yeah.
We are decimated. We need to fire our defensive coordinator. We need to fire our offensive coordinator. We need to redo this. And for me, that is nothing but absolute music to my ears.
It feels good, doesn't it?
I think Harbaugh is a very good head coach. It sounded weird, like very good head coach, but it's proper English, I believe. I don't know. I'm not very proper.
No, you're not.
But he's arrogant, and they should have had two. They should have been like in overtime a couple times, but they didn't, and they thought they'd go for 2, and they lost, and I think that lost them the season.
Yeah.
Because if they win one of those games, which they were in the process of beating Green Bay, they win one of those games, and we're talking a different story with them losing last week. They're still tied for first with the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're out of the playoff picture, and you have to play the Rams, and then you have to play the Steelers. I get it, but it doesn't matter because the Bengals have 2 games on you.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're only a game up in the loss column, they have 2 games on you.
Yep.
Because of the head-to-head.
Head-to-heads.
And you lose this week, you're out.
Yeah.
You're done. And it doesn't look like Lamar's playing.
No.
And if Lamar doesn't play, you don't play on the last week of the season.
No.
I don't see a scenario why you would.
Yeah.
But the Rams are just far and wide a better team. Mm-hmm. Sean McVay had, God, I can't think of his name, Zach Taylor as his offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Taylor is pretty much running what McVay likes to run as an offense. He put his own twist on it, but it's the same sort of thing. What do you think Stafford's going to do to these guys? If Burrow put up 525, I think Cooper Kupp is going to have 50 catches in this game. He's not, but
their secondary's hurt. They have no one to stop it.
I don't see their. I almost picked this as my lock of the week. That's how injured they are. But I got the Rams winning this game.
I picked the Rams too. I'm in a couple groups. A few friends of mine were talking. They're Ravens fans, and I think I finally saw them get to the point in a message the other day. They posted on Facebook, I guess this is just who we are. That was the message. Okay. And then I saw them put a little purple bird emoji. And I assume he meant the Ravens because his profile picture, his background photo, his photos, all the players, he's got a tattoo of the Maryland flag with a caw in it, a little raven dude. I get it, right? Caw! Bird. I know what Ravens do. So, but the point is they were talking about maybe this is the end. And I asked them, what do you mean? And they said, I think it's time we reevaluate continuing with Lamar Jackson. And to me, I finally heard a fan from the Ravens say it, besides Bray, who I know listens at times, who's a Ravens fan who cannot stand the fact that they're moving on with Lamar when there's pocket passers with dual threat ability like not really Daxon's injury, but let's just use names like Kyler Murray and quarterbacks like that in these drafts and in free agency that you could win more games with, who can throw the ball better and use like Lamar, and people say that the wide receivers aren't good. Give them any pocket passing quarterback. Huntley had 350 passing yards with the wide receivers they had, and only 80 of those yards
didn't win.
I know, but I'm saying, but only 80 of those yards were to Andrews.
No. Not in the last game he played. Not in the three.
Two games ago.
It was
2 games ago.
13 targets to Andrews, 11 catches for 130 something yards.
That was last week.
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, maybe I'm thinking. Maybe I don't know what I'm. Maybe it was the week before. I don't know what I was thinking.
Josh Johnson played decent against.
It might have been Josh Johnson. But the point I'm saying is Lamar Jackson your $40 million plus option? Is that what you roll with? Can you win with him? And that's something they need this year to evaluate.
Okay, so all right. So who do you pick in this game?
I have the Rams.
Okay. I'm going to defend Lamar here. Okay? Simply because it's unfair to him to blame this on him.
Oh, I'm not blaming this on him. No.
It's unfair. When this kid was playing, like the Ravens were in first place all year in their division. And they were playing lights out football. And Lamar was going to have 1,000 yards rushing, 4,000 yards passing, 30-something touchdowns. Yes, his interceptions are higher than, I think it's like he would have had like 15, 16 interceptions. That's not on Lamar. Now, I'm a firm believer that Lamar needs to get better in many areas throwing the ball, because you're not going to win playoff football the way the Ravens play football. I don't believe you can.
No.
But J.K. Dobbins out. Gus Edwards out before the season even started.
Yeah.
And I think Hollywood Brown is overrated. He doesn't run very good routes. He doesn't like being hit. He's got alligator arms. Sammy Watkins, I don't know why people thought he was going to be the second coming. Lamar Jackson doesn't like throwing to rookies. So what is it, Bateman?
Yeah.
Is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Duvernay, who's their fastest player on the offense, besides Lamar, they don't use properly.
No.
If you used him like a Deebo Samuel, in motion, handing the ball off, screens, give this kid the ball 5 times a game, he's going to take one to the house, Curtis Samuel style.
Yeah.
They're not running the proper offense, and they're not developing Lamar. And they're doing a disservice to him. You have to sign Lamar.
Well, that's the thing. You have to sign him, right? Like, I'm not saying they have to. What I'm trying to word it as, like, there's going to be a market for this guy. It's going to be 50 million, 45, 50 million, because that's the way the market's going. Can you win games if your coaching staff is willing to do the changes? Because this is on the coaching staff and the players. They have to make it work.
Do the Ravens make that mistake again?
What mistake is that?
Paying the quarterback.
That's the other thing. They did this with Flacco, and what happened?
Right. So this is where I'm saying, like, I think with what you have going on, if you come to Lamar and say, we'll make you the 5th highest paid quarterback, but this is what we're going to put around you.
That's hoping they do it.
But I don't give him top money.
No.
But I don't give him...
I don't give any of these players top money.
But the thing is you can't let him walk.
No.
Huntley's not the answer.
No.
Huntley's not the answer. And you're setting your franchise back by letting go of Lamar or not signing him to a deal. And again, it's hard for me because signing quarterbacks to these deals, like I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared in 3 years the
4.
Bengals having to sign Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I'm scared because you know what that's going to do? That's going to take away everything else that we can do around him.
Yep.
And
it's going to make your window smaller.
Right. And every team does it. Every single team in the NFL does it except one. And that team proved that you can have a dynasty in football, that you can win 7 championships in 20 years, go to 10 Super Bowls in 20 years. Because he still got paid, but he wasn't the highest.
Yeah.
And that to me, and everybody's like, well, not everybody has a supermodel girlfriend, that makes more money than him. You want to know something? Even if he didn't, Brady would have taken $20 million instead of the $30 million. He would have, and because he knew.
I mean, he was making a shit ton of money back then too, though. But he wasn't the number one highest paid. He was like third or fourth every year.
He was making so much money, and then they kept going, okay, this is what we need. Yeah. This is what we need you to do. Yeah. Can you do it? Are we going to win a championship? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Yeah. And not very many quarterbacks in the league or players in the league have that mindset. Yeah. I'm praying the Bengals and Joe Burrow have that mindset.
That was my first thing with the Dak contract that I thought was way too much money, but he deferred $10 million of it this year to pay other players, to bring in free agents. And I was like, so maybe this is why players sign so much money, because they're willing to give some back. But I don't know if every player is willing to do that. No. The only point I'm saying is at some point the market's going to have to reset. And I don't know who that quarterback is. I like Lamar, and they're better with him. But if they get to free agency and see that Watson's name is cleared, or not Aaron Rodgers, but like we think that they can only play Lamar style. But they can play a Flacco style still.
The only thing is it's not going to be reset, because think about the great young quarterbacks right now, under the age of 25.
I know.
And so that's why, like, I agree with you. You set your franchise back by overpaying your quarterback. Yeah. I understand it. And I'm dreading it because you've got Burrow, Chase, and Higgins all going to need to be paid in 4 years. Burrow and Higgins in 3. And
Burrow can be 4 if you give him the extra year option. He was first round pick.
The fifth
give
year
him a fifth year option.
Yes.
So actually, if you fifth year him and Jamar Chase's fifth year, they're actually all 1 year apart.
Yeah,
they're not going to be on the same year, which is smart.
Yeah, but I mean. So it's just weird, and I know it's weird for me to defend Lamar and to go down that rabbit hole there, but it's.
But they have money, and they're not. The only point before we move on is they had money this offseason and didn't bring in as much talent as people thought. And I'm like, so if you re-sign Lamar, are you still going to bring in talent? The point is, I think they're okay with the roster they have. They just want to keep Lamar for ticket sales and jersey sales. You don't win games like that.
No.
So let's move on to the next game, because we were talking a little bit long. What you got?
Broncos, Chargers.
Okay, who you got?
I got the Chargers in a must-win.
Oh yeah, by far must-win. Oops, I did it again.
And I don't have faith in this Chargers team.
No.
Injuries, COVID, blah 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 blah. Yep. Their defense isn't good.
No.
But I got the Chargers winning. They're at home. I got the Chargers.
Yeah, I got the Chargers winning too. They're 8-7. They're only one game behind division winners in their same conference. 8-7 is not a bad record compared to other teams, but still, they're just not playing the best football. They're not a consistent team. They're definitely not an AFC championship team. They're barely out of the wild card type team. So this is a must win if you want to keep the Broncos from getting close to the playoff picture.
Right. You knock the Broncos out if you win.
Yep.
So, Texans, 49ers. 49ers must win at home. I like the 49ers.
I like the 49ers at home too.
Cardinals, Cowboys.
Yep.
What's your take?
So, my take with this game is if you would have asked me who I picked this game 4 weeks ago, it would have been the Cardinals 100%. Okay. I was worried that when we got to this game, it was going to be the second time I didn't pick Dallas. But I'm picking Dallas. Okay. And I wasn't going to a few weeks ago. Because I was like, Cardinals are hot. Let me tell you something. The Cardinals don't look good.
No.
Something's not right. And I would never in a million years have picked, honestly, Dallas over the Cardinals right now. But go ahead.
No, you said something. They're not right. Christian Kirk, A.J. Green, Rondell Moore are not number 2 wide receivers.
No.
And you're asking one of them to be a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah. It's still more than that because Kyler doesn't look right.
Right. But DeAndre Hopkins made it so these other guys, when you had DeAndre Hopkins out there, you double cover him. He wasn't having a great year, but you still had to double cover him.
Yeah.
AJ Green, single covered, will catch a ball here and there or have a great game here and there. Christian Kirk, Rondell Moore against a linebacker or a fifth line cornerback is going to eat him. And that's when the offense was churning and it was cooking.
Yep.
And now you don't have Hopkins. So now you can actually go one-on-one with those two guys.
Hopkins out for the year, isn't he?
Yeah. And you can go one-on-one with those two guys on the outside, Kirk and AJ, and you're not worried.
Yeah.
And then Rondell Moore isn't there yet, and he's going up against a third cornerback, and he's better than a fifth cornerback, but he's not better than a third.
So, and that's kind of my thing with the Cardinals. They just don't look right. Not having Hopkins hurts. They just look like the Cowboys did a few weeks ago. They just look kind of stale at the moment. Excuse me. And part of me, though, with this game is it does kind of remind me of the Raiders game on Thanksgiving Day, where the Raiders didn't have any really no-name wide receivers, and they still found a way to beat up on Dallas.
Yep.
The point is I have a gut feeling that Kyler Murray's going to be running for his life from our 7-Eleven back there, both guys, and it's not fun. And I'm not being a Dallas homer here. If I had to play Dallas' defense, I wouldn't want to. Yes, you can get a big pass here and there, but they are shutting people down, and it is fun to watch. I mean, I'm watching every game, and we have a lead in the league in TFLs. I mean, we're getting 4 or 5 a drive. Like, that is absolutely mind-boggling, and I said it a few weeks ago when I said a baby version of the Legion of Boom. If you look at it, it looks just like it with Seattle. The difference is the offense we have doesn't quite look like the same offense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not good. I'm just saying defensively-wise, we're doing the Legion of Boom fast, quick interception, Sherman days, and it looks great. I'm very confident in the Cowboys winning this game. It's just does Mike McCarthy find a way to ruin something. And I hope that's not the case because they are just like the Bengals right now, and they're hot. I get DC was hurt. They had COVID. I get this. But they shit-stomped DC, and it wasn't even close.
No.
And I'm sorry if they were healthy. I think it would have been the same result. That is the difference of one team who knows who they are and a team who doesn't.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals are struggling to tread water right now.
Right. And so I'm going to say this. The Cardinals still scare me a little.
I'm not.
Because it can switch quick.
With Hopkins, this is a much different outcome here today, too.
Yes, but they can switch quick. They got the talent to switch quick.
Of course they do.
Do they have what it takes to do it? This is 2 years in a row that they absolutely came out on fire, and then they just crap the bed.
Yep.
I've got the Cowboys here, too. I don't have faith in the Cardinals. They just look bad. Like they're not. There's a difference between losing and losing bad.
Yeah,
they're losing bad. Like Nate said it perfectly in the group when we were watching the game last week. The Cardinals, their offense is. He doesn't like their offense.
Yeah.
Like there's something like I don't understand it. I don't understand what they're doing.
Let me give you a good example. A few weeks ago, another NFC West team, the Rams, were in a similar situation. They lost, 2 or 3 straight. They kind of looked like doo-doo, and then they said, no more. And they started winning games again. Cardinals, this is your moment.
Yes.
So you get back on track here because if you don't want to be a wild card team.
No.
And it's nothing against it. I'm not trying to be an NFC Dallas lover here, but Tampa Bay, you don't want to go there. Dallas is bad at home, but you don't want to play Dallas right now, and you damn sure don't want to go to Green Bay right now. No. These are teams you don't want to play. You want to win your conference.
Yes.
Your division. And this is a really big game. And this is, again, real quick before we move to the next game, as a Dallas fan, this is a big game. For finally people to go, wow, you beat a good team. Well, we beat New England, we beat the Chargers. I can keep going on and on list. We beat the Eagles, we beat DC. All these teams were playoff teams, and we beat them.
Yeah.
This is a huge win if we can get it.
So here's the thing, and I'll play devil's advocate here.
Yep.
Patriots, how good are they?
Well, I mean,
Chargers, how good are they?
Well,
they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're a playoff team or on the verge of the playoffs.
Our schedule was projected to be,
and I can even say the Bengals at this point. Who have the Bengals beaten?
Yeah,
but
see, the thing is, you can only play who's on your schedule. And lucky for us, we were playing a 32nd ranked schedule, and it ends up being 14th right now because the teams we played are all playoff eligible teams at the moment. Like they're right on the edge wild card teams. We didn't get to play the Jags. We didn't get to play the Jets. We didn't get to play those guys. So it's like this is a huge statement win when you're beating 7-8 teams. It doesn't look good, but that's all borderline Eagles, DC. These are all borderline playoff teams.
Who's the last game of the season?
Giants, I
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's either Giants or Eagles, and I can't remember. I think we played the Eagles twice already. So I think it's the Giants.
Okay. So we both got the Cowboys.
Yep.
Panthers, Saints.
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
I don't go first very often. Yeah. Sam Darnold's playing this game. Just let you know. Don't know if it makes a difference. Upset of the week, I got the Panthers beating the Saints.
Okay. I have the Panthers beating the Saints, too.
Oh, there we go. I didn't think you would pick it. Come on, man.
Offensively, the Saints are bad.
Oh, yeah.
Defensively, they are so good.
They are.
But
it sucks, doesn't it?
Now that I know, I have actually more faith and Darnold playing
Yeah.
than I do anybody else.
Yeah.
Like I picked this game thinking Cam was going to play,
Because when
and I didn't have
Chuba-
any faith in there.
Is Chuba hurt? He's out for the year now too, isn't he?
I have no idea.
But
I honestly,
Chuba and
but-
Sam Darnold were playing together, they were fun to watch because
Yeah.
CMC was hurt. I like the Panthers here in an upset at the Saints, whatever Mercedes-Benz Crypto Dome, whatever it's called now.
Right.
I like this matchup. I got the Panthers upset of the week.
All right, Lions Seahawks.
This was hard for me. You
All
go
right,
first. This
so-
was really
so
hard
I'm
for
looking
me.
at it, and I almost scribbled out my pick. I don't know if Goff is playing.
I don't think he is.
I know Swift is playing.
If Goff was playing, okay, keep
You know,
going.
I know Swift is playing. I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't, even though I have no faith in this pick. I actually think the Lions are. I honestly think the Lions can win this game, but I think this is a game where they're going to get curb stomped, and Russell Wilson's just going to throw like Hail Marys like all day.
And it's going to make you look bad, and Logan's going to be like, look, I told you, Russell Wilson.
Right, but I have the
Sorry,
Seahawks
Logan.
winning. Not that both teams are out of the playoffs. Neither team is playing for anything. I just feel that I'm going with the Seahawks, and I'm done talking because I'll talk myself out of it.
I have the Seahawks too. I almost picked this as my upset of the week till I saw Jared Goff wasn't playing.
Okay.
You good over there, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, you back
I'm making sure that the farts are actual farts and not like 'cause
Poops?
my belly's a little upset.
Oh no, it's the Tenchi burrito.
Yeah.
We only get about an hour after you eat the burrito to get the podcast done.
Right.
I picked the Seahawks here. They have the better quarterback. Like they have the better wide receivers. Their defense is garbage. But like you can't not pick Seattle against the Lions. The Lions look bad, and they've had 2 really good wins. Don't get me wrong.
But here's the thing: neither team has anything to play for.
Yeah.
The Lions actually have heart.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like leaning towards.
But the Lions beat the Cardinals, though. Can we talk about that
right,
again?
but like the Lions have heart. Like
Yeah.
the Lions are trying to prove that they could be a team in a couple years, and these players are playing for their NFL future.
Yeah.
Like where the Seahawks, Metcalf's not playing for his future, Lockett's not playing for his future.
I know.
Russell Wilson's playing just so he can play somewhere else next year.
Yeah. We're both
again,
going
all
with
right.
Seattle.
Yes.
What's the next game?
Vikings, Packers. Sorry, everybody, but fuck the Vikings. I'm going the Packers.
I got the Packers, too. They're the best team in the country. They're the best team in the league.
Okay.
Their defense finds ways to win, and their offense always finds ways to score points.
Okay.
Even when I think their defense is going to be bad, they go, we just need to be average. It's what I said about Dallas beginning of the year. Average defense, just have a good offense.
Yeah.
That's what but they have Aaron Rodgers, and he's like, look, y'all really needed me. Like, even though he's a Karen Rodgers,
Is he there next year?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Browns, Steelers.
Why do we have to pick this one?
Because if the Browns lose, Bengals win the division no matter what.
So you picked the Steelers?
Yes.
I picked the Steelers because I went back and forth on this game, and I mainly picked the Steelers are at home. Really, they are.
Did you hear the Ben announcement?
Yeah, this could be his last Monday Night Football game.
No, he said this is it. Like he said this is his last season. And this is their last home game. That place is going to be rocking. That place is going to be loud. And I think the team comes together for them.
Good.
And they'll be 8-7-1.
Hey, another season of over 500 for Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
Hasn't he? He's never been under 500.
No.
Damn, that's
So,
pretty good.
yeah,
I have the Steelers winning. I just think they're the better team.
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't. Let me take that back. I said that out of anger. I just think they'll win. I don't think they're the better team.
All right. Do we have time or no?
We do. What's up?
Okay. So I think Nate asked this question, or somebody asked this question. I think it was Logan. Who do you have in the playoffs? Who do you trust, or something like that? And I said I still have the Bucks going to the Super Bowl. And Nate said you don't believe in the Packers. Why don't you believe in the Packers? And I said because we've seen this from the Packers. We've seen them win the NFC best record. We've seen them go 11-4, 11-5, 12-4, 13-3, and not even make it to and not go to the Super Bowl. We've seen this before. that's why I don't have faith in it.
I would say the only thing different for me, just to go back, piggyback of what you said, is every year he's been there and lost his NFC Championship games.
Yep.
Which he's lost them. And he's won his Super Bowl game. This is the difference, though, is that if they have the number 1 seed, Tom Brady's got to go to Lambeau, who he never really played at Lambeau in the Super Bowl. He played at Lambeau in a nice, comfy dome somewhere against Green Bay, right? Well, not against Green Bay, but when he plays there, this is different. They're going from Tampa and potentially going to have to play in the NFC Championship game unless another team meets them there in Lambeau in the end of January in probably a blizzard, which is good for Brady. That's not always good for everyone else. So I'd have a really hard time picking faith and trust in either team right now because they both are good. But you can finish what you're saying. I'm just saying it's different now because they're going to meet on the same championship sideline, not the Super Bowl sideline now. This is NFC matchups.
Yes, but Brady and the Bucs curb stomped them last year in the NFC Championship game.
That was also at Tampa Bay.
I don't have faith, and it's sort of, again, you look at the top teams in the NFC. Okay, Packers are always there, and they never succeed. Okay. The Rams are always there, but Stafford's never been there. People forget Stafford's only made it to the playoffs once. He's never won a playoff game. And, Kyler Murray never made it to the playoffs. Dak has been to the playoffs, has won 1 game.
1 and 2.
Mike McCarthy is a huge reason why the Packers didn't go to the Super Bowl a couple times. So I just look at that and I say, okay, well, Tom Brady's there. Tom Brady can play in the cold.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady can, and I understand you have to have wide receivers that can play in the cold. You have to have, a defense that plays in the cold
healthy,
and everything. I understand that. It's not just Tom Brady. But if like I said, my Super Bowl pick was Tampa Bay versus Buffalo, and I'm not wavering.
Yeah.
I still think, despite the fact that Green Bay and Dallas and Kansas City and, the likes, and everybody's blowing smoke up the Bengals' butt again, which, again, they've never been here.
Yeah, that's why I'm not mad about the Dallas disrespect. Why do we deserve it? Honestly, what do we deserve?
Yeah,
we don't.
It's just, so I just, and Aaron Rodgers is one of, if not top 3 quarterbacks to ever play the game. Top 2, top 4.
Yeah.
And I don't think you could. I think you could make an argument. I mean, some people would be like, Montana with the 4-0 in Super Bowls. Yeah. Elway 3-2, 2-3 in Super Bowls. But made 5.
Yeah.
And Peyton Manning. 2-1 in Super Bowls.
Phillip Rivers,
or 2-2.
the GOAT.
Is he 2-2 or 2-1? 2-1.
Phillip Rivers, the GOAT. I'm just kidding.
But
I'm playing.
It's, I just, something always happens.
Yeah.
And I don't trust in them.
Now, I didn't pick the Bills. You did have the Bills, Buccaneers.
Yes.
I had the Chiefs, Buccaneers. I'm still on my pick.
Okay.
We don't have.
Do you have faith in it?
Yes, I still have full faith in my pick.
Okay.
I think easily the Chiefs are going to win the AFC division. Easily. I think they march right to the playoffs because they're the one team that's been there the most recently, and they find ways to keep winning. I don't trust Mac Jones in the playoffs. I don't trust the Bengals in the playoffs. I mean, I trust them to win a game or two, but against the Chiefs in Kansas City, no. And you don't either. Just like me, I don't trust Dallas to go to Lambeau and win this game. If we make it, I don't trust it. The Chiefs are the best team, but to me, I still think even though the AFC is beat up on each other, I think there's clearly one team better than the rest in the AFC right now, and I still think it's the Chiefs.
Okay.
But with the NFC, I do think there's 4 really good teams, and one has Tom Brady. And I do think that's the X factor difference. It's crazy how many things have happened all season for me to still go, it's still going to be Chiefs and Buccaneers again. Yeah. But with the way the Bucs defense is this year, I have the Chiefs winning it, like I said in the beginning of the year.
All right.
I'd love to see it happen. We haven't done this in a while, but I have a question.
Okay.
Do you go ahead.
No, your question.
It's not a question. Like mine's different. Do you have something you wanted to say real quick?
Yeah, I forgot. We haven't said this at all or talked about it. The championship game in the ADD league.
Oh, yeah. Take a minute and talk about that.
Yes, is unfortunately Nate Fowler versus Chandler Curtis.
Who is it again? Sorry.
Nate Fowler versus Chandler Curtis.
I know.
And
Two OGs of the show. Nate's been on a bunch.
Yep.
Chandler's been on before.
The 4th seed versus the 6th seed, which is crazy. Nate beat up on Logan this past week, and Chandler absolutely destroyed Mike in the playoffs.
I think I made the playoffs in that league, so that's good.
No, you didn't. Oh, yeah, you did. You lost to Nate.
Yeah, I lost
in the first round.
Yeah,
Yep.
He waxed me.
And then and so what's funny is Nate and Chandler in 4 leagues. We're in 4 leagues with those two, and they're in the championship in 2 out of the 4 leagues that we're in with them. So those two are battling it out this weekend, and you didn't lose the toilet bowl. You went on a couple winning. You went on a winning streak.
I won 3 straight in the playoffs.
Booty.
Yeah,
So you're getting there, and
doesn't matter. That league's going to be changed now for next year, probably. So
yes, but Nate is playing Chandler. No, Nate is going up against Danny. In that one. So Nate's in 3 championship games out of 4.
I wonder who's in the championship for my league. I haven't looked. Is that
Nate versus
Chandler?
Yeah, Nate versus Chandler.
Have to give the trophy to one of them too.
Chandler absolutely destroyed fantasy this year. Like, he absolutely destroyed fantasy this year. I have no business being in the championship game in League of Extraordinary Legends. I beat Chandler, but if he got hit by COVID in the last week. If Hill played, Hill played, I think, a series and only got 3 points. And all he needed was Hill to play a little bit and for Tua to actually throw to Jazeki 3 more times. Yeah. And Chandler would have beaten me. Yeah. But I'm going up against Malik in League of Extraordinary Legends. I know all 9 of you guys are rooting for Malik. Because
I'll
nobody
root for you, Mark.
No, you don't want to see me win.
Listen, Malik beat me by 4 points. He scored 9. He scored 109 points to beat me in the playoffs. I scored 100. The lowest scoring of both of us all year. He still found a way to beat me.
Yes.
And it's because Dallas decided to go crazy with the ball passing it that Zeke only got 39 yards rushing. Yep. And if I would have won that game, I'd probably be sitting right there where Malik is facing you right now.
Yes.
It's very disappointing. But
Malik in this league, to be fair, was the best team by far in this league.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got hit by injuries and COVID and everything. But it's supposed to be a good matchup, but it's, I hope I win. But if I don't, then Malik is the 4th person to win in the last 4 years in this league.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it went Chandler, me 4 years in a row, Logan, Justin, Xander, and whoever wins this year. So that's just crazy. It really is. Like, it's crazy, this league. We've been in it forever, and I believe we might be doing our draft from Washington Stadium this next year.
Yeah, I don't have all the details. Logan can let us know to let people know, but supposedly Logan's aunt has some connections with the team.
Well, she's got season tickets.
Yeah.
And what comes with the season tickets is doing a fantasy draft in one of the luxury suites.
Yeah, so she's going to possibly let us use it and do our fantasy draft there. I'll be wearing my favorite Diggs jersey when I go.
Yeah. Funny story. My friend Ryan that lives in Washington. He lives in Dallas. His company has suites at Jerry Jones World.
Yeah.
Jerry World. And he's a diehard, like, my whole life, this kid's been a Redskin fan. Like, he's a diehard Redskin fan. They had, like, front row seats in the end zone. And he's got pictures of his kid and his kid's friend wearing Dallas jerseys. And him going, it didn't go the way I wanted it, but my kid had fun. You lose 56-14. Like, your kid is having the time of his life. But, I've shown you some of the pictures of the seats they've had. But I feel bad for him because I know how much he loves the Redskins and loves Washington. And, to get curb stomped like that while you're watching, that's got to be a tough.
It was a really
tough pill to
fun
swallow.
game.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
yes.
Like, I mean, you guys want me to tell them like how much I've really enjoyed that game? Like, I had a nice brew. I had a nice blankie. I had my Dallas sweater on, my Dallas koozie. I had the freaking, I had the ghost of greats behind me. I felt like I was on cloud 9. It was the best, man. I felt like Tom Landry was just standing on the sideline, still coaching. It was wonderful. Like I even saw him ever coach. But do you have a hot take? Do you have a hot clock?
I mean,
we haven't done it in a while, but I have one because it just happened to me at work today.
Okay, go
It's
ahead.
kind of pissed me off.
All right.
I work at a warehouse with a lot of ladies, and one of the ladies I work with, I was singing. We had 80s on 8 on, so a station with lots of 80s music, mostly one-hit wonders. And I was singing a song, and I don't remember what it was. It was a Journey song or Whitesnake or Poison. I don't know what it was at the time, but they all kind of sound similar. And she said, "Are you singing?" And I went, "Yeah, I like singing." She's like, "Well, don't." So I said, "Well, why?" She's like, "When were you even born?" I was like, 94. And she looked at the other girl, younger. When were you born? She said, 89. She's like, "These were my songs. You're not allowed to sing them." And I said, "Okay, your song." So I went into this little discussion in my head about how old people, no offense, Mark, love to make fun of this generation's music, saying like, what's that Cardi B song, WAP, and like the Gangnam Style, like how bad they are. Let's not forget about Turning Japanese by the Vapors. Huge song. Let's not forget about, I can keep going.
Dude, that was a great song.
Let's keep going about Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Another great song you guys loved. No Rain by Blind Melon. Garbage song, let's be clear. My Sharona. Another terrible song.
Are these even 80s songs? Are you
Every
pulling,
single one of them.
Are you pulling? Blind Melon wasn't in the 80s.
Yes, it was 89. It was made.
Oh, all right, yeah.
But
That was before,
Tainted Love.
That was yeah, but all right. So, what are your generations like?
In a
Badass
big-
songs. Do you realize Guns N' Roses is still played in every single stadium?
But the Guns N' Roses songs weren't on this specific station.
Okay, I'm just saying, like you're saying, our generation.
Yeah.
We've had some bad songs. I mean,
But not what I was making. Like
I wear my sunglasses at night.
Terrible.
That's about a stalker.
Yeah.
Walk the Dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's a great song, but it's an awful song.
What about Rock Lobster by the B-52s?
I've never even heard that song.
Terrible.
Okay.
So the point I'm making is, or the song In a Big Country.
But Love
by
Shack
Big
is a
Country.
great song.
Okay, so listen.
Okay.
If Love Shack came out today, every boomer, the first thing would go is, "Oh, this is terrible."
Well, it's a terrible song, but it's a great song.
What the point was, I came back to her, I said, and I named like 5 songs. I had them listed on a chart there. And she's like, "Those are great. What are you talking about?" I was like, but if they were made today, first thing you go is, Tub Thumping? Chumbawamba? What is this garbage? And I was making a joke. I went on and on. And I was like, what about like Boys to Men? What about like Will Smith when he was making music? She's like, they were hits. I'm like, but our music today has bad music. But there is still good music out today. And I hate our music today. I just wanted to find a way to argue with her because I love it. But I went into this details like, you tell me I can't sing your songs. What would you rather me sing? Elvis for you, sweetheart, because you were born in 56. So I just wanted to go on a little rant there about like how older people hate younger people's music, but forget that some of their music was ass.
Oh yeah, no, I firmly believe that a lot of music is ass.
Now, I'm not here to talk about Metallica, Guns N' Roses. Like, okay, we get it. Like Pink Floyd. Like, there are some fantastic bands.
I'm gonna say it right now. Metallica's overrated.
I think like 400 billion downloads would probably disagree with you.
Yeah, that's fine, and Lars is still gonna go to court for him
Probably.
because he was the biggest douche. Oh, they're getting my music for free. Fucking millionaire complaining that kids are getting
Don't
their
most
music.
millionaires complain? Didn't Green Day literally make a song? It wasn't Green Day. Was it Good Charlotte maybe? Made a song about that.
Good Charlotte's a band. Like, that's actually a thing.
Actually from Waldorf, Maryland.
Oh,
Is it Good Charlotte from Waldorf, Maryland?
Jimmy's Chicken Shack was pretty good back in the day.
Was it?
Yeah, they're from Maryland.
Are they? There was a guy in our league with Jimmy's Chicken Shack as his name.
Like I said, there's a story behind it. But me
For
and
another
me and
podcast.
him.
All right, for another podcast.
Yeah, me and him got to party with Jimmy's Chicken Shack one time. So
Okay.
You know,
it
it
involves
was-
some alcoholic brews.
yeah, it was a good time.
Good.
But it's but music's music. Music sucks.
It does. And
because nothing tells a story anymore.
Yeah. And I wasn't lying to her. Most of our music today is bad. And it really is. But I was just trying to remind her that she was like, all the songs from my generation are just so much better. And I was like, there is some really bad songs made.
But my whole thing is what I would have brought up is this whole cancel culture crap actually has a popular song that Cardi B sings is, I don't even, what is it, WAP? Yeah. And I guess it's, I don't know what it's about, but it's...
I mean, you can probably guess.
Yeah, and I'm just like... Huh. All right. Yeah. So basically what I'm thinking is this cancel culture is anything a man does that a woman doesn't like, we cancel it. But if a woman does it, it's woman's power.
Well, I mean, they made Turning
Sorry
Japanese.
to all the women out there in the world. But
it is. I mean, it's like Turning Japanese by the Vapors. It's literally about masturbation. They got away with it, no problems.
Yeah. There's a song that came out, I can't remember when. It was about going out, getting your drug dealer and getting high. And it was one of the most popular songs in the world.
Yeah, not surprised.
And it was like, I was like, you guys love this song. What's it about? Do you know what it's about? I go, it's about him going out, finding his heroin dealer, and getting high on heroin. Yeah. And they're like, nuh-uh. I'm like, the singer actually says this.
Must have been big Kurt Cobain fans.
But I'm just like, it's, don't knock Kurt.
Come on.
Come on.
He didn't miss his last shot.
He might have. I still think Courtney Love might have taken the shot. So, but I digress. I digress.
I'm sorry. We need to delete that. I don't know. We'll ask the group. Just say yes or no in the group if you guys want that part in there.
But turn this back to football. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
I'm looking forward to, for me, I'm looking forward to the Bengals, to prove people that they're legit.
Okay.
I'm looking for, Dallas to prove to people that they're also legit, that both these teams are serious contenders. And I'm just kind of looking for teams to make their stomp, their last push to the playoffs. I'm looking for teams to rest starters next week. That's what I'm looking for. A lot of teams to get to the point that they're comfortable enough to do that if they want to. And I just kind of want to see what happens. I want to find a way to see Green Bay lose 2 straight and Dallas win 2 straight, win home field advantage. I know it won't, but these are situations you think about. There's a way we could win. There's only one bye week now. There's only one home field advantage team. Yep. Well, sorry, one bye week team. Last year, if Dallas was in this spot, us and the Packers are both sitting at home this week, in 2 weeks. Yep. That's something that we don't get no more. So even though as much as a fan I want us to finish second, there is no sleeping. There is no weeks off.
Right.
Because as soon as the Week 17 game is over, you're back to playing.
Who won the NFC? Who won the regular season in the NFC last year?
I don't know, but I don't think it was the Packers. Was it the Bucks?
I think it was the Packers.
Was it? NFC.
It wasn't the Bucks because the Bucks played the Redskins in the first round, or was it the second round? No, Bucks.
It was the Buccaneers versus the Packers. And the Packers were at home. It looks like at Green Bay. So the Packers were the number 1 seed.
So Tampa Bay's already been there and beaten them.
Yeah,
wow.
Must have. Yeah, it looks like
all right.
It. Yeah, because they're wearing beanies and sweaters in the picture.
All right. So
that whole argument's different. They've been there. I did not know it was at Green Bay. I thought it was at Tampa Bay.
Yeah. So
I thought Green Bay lost in Tampa. So weird.
I don't even know if Tampa won their division.
Who would have won it?
New Orleans. Tampa Bay didn't even win their division last year.
I don't think they did either.
Because they played the Redskins in the first round, and the Redskins won their division.
Yeah, no, they did.
So right. They were the 5 seed.
I think they were. And 2020 NFC standings.
Because they played in Washington.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. 2021, that's divisional. Washington was 7-9, by the way.
Yeah.
Forgot.
That's why if they win one more game, they still win the same amount of games that they won last year.
Yeah, Packers were 13-3, clinched home field. Saints were 12-4. Seahawks were 3rd at 12-4. Wow, Seahawks had 12 wins last year. Wow. See what happens when you're healthy. And then 4th was Washington, so 5th was right there. Yep. So that was our things. So with that, we've gone over a little bit.
Yep. Have a good week.
Everybody.
Have a good week. Go Bengals.
Go Cowboys, and we'll see you guys next year.